Right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second round of the Thrustmaster AMA Championship of Formula SimRacing 2016 season. We're driving at Bahrain today. Qualification is about to start, so it's gonna be an interesting race. Of course, half race distance, so that will be 29 laps, I believe. It's going to be an interesting race. We have 13 drivers at the moment in the session. I believe that is going to be the amount of drivers that we're going to start with. And it's going to be interesting. I'm on my own at the moment for commentating. Maybe someone will join as well later on, but I can't say that for sure. So now I'll just clarify what this AMA series is. This AMA series is the lowest category of the Formula SimRacing leagues. We have AMA, Pro, Ace, and WLC, of course. It's AMA is the lowest class. It's especially meant for the drivers who are still in development, who are still learning how to drive with other guys on track and practicing how to get consistent in your lap times, how to get some reasonable pace, and maybe we'll even see some guys stepping up from this AMA series to Pro in the upcoming races. I don't know exactly who's going to be, but Christopher Raby showed last round in Australia that he has good pace. He showed that, so maybe teams are getting interested in selecting some drivers for this year, or even maybe already for 2017. So let's see if we are moving to qualification soon, where we are waiting, I believe. This AMA series as well has other cars than the Pro, Ace, and WC. These are GP2 cars, essentially. They are about 4 seconds slower than the normal FSR car, but they do have the same tires. Right, we are about to start the qualification session. Guys getting out of the pits, bunching up at the pit exit line, and let's see who's gonna be the best in qualifying. It's a 10-minute session, so plenty of time to set a good lap. Of course, Bahrain is not a very easy circuit. It's quite a difficult circuit, if you ask me. Lots of elevation changes. The curbs are very bumpy. The track itself is also quite bumpy. So it's a difficult track to set a perfect lap at. That's what qualification is for, and let's see what these guys can deliver for us. We've got a total of 14 drivers, 15 now. I don't know. At least it's quite a bit more drivers than we had last round in Australia. In Australia, we had 6 drivers, but now a bit more. That's exciting to see. I'm stoked to see how this is going to happen. Last race in Australia was really clean. No big incidents or whatever. So great stuff from these guys. 31st guys about to start their laps. Here we go. Guys crossing the start-finish line. And now in the first sector, and Ken Hunter has already spun it. It's already on the grass. Let's see. Don't know exactly what he did. Probably had some oversteer on the exit. Let's watch these sector times now, because the cars are approaching that first sector time marker. We see the first sector set by Dominic Foster, the first sector time 31.7, and Gerlof de Vries immediately goes quicker with a 31.2 in the first sector. Of course, sector times don't say everything. Setup is very key to your lap time, especially in Bahrain. You have lots of big straights and also quite some curvy parts. So yeah, you can really choose if you would rather gain time in the curvy parts or gain time on the longer straights. Of course, you've also got to think of the race. With higher top speeds, it's easier to overtake somebody. Alright, Christopher Raby now shows his pace with a 39 or 30.95 in the first sector, so immediately goes 0.3 quicker than Gerlof de Vries did in that first sector. Now, the first time being set by Gerlof de Vries, it's a 1:36.7. Guys immediately finishing after him: Fabian Ruth, Christopher Kopp, Ionut Valenu, all a bit more than a second off. And now we have Christopher Raby, who goes with a 1:35.9, a lot quicker than Gerlof de Vries, 0.8 between him and Gerlof. It's quite a big gap actually. Christopher Raby then also goes immediately into the pits for a new lap on the Supersofts, of course. And in Bahrain on the Supersofts, I don't think you can push out 2 hot laps for qualifying. That's just those tires wear so much, especially in Bahrain. Now let's see if anyone is going to be able to match Christopher Raby's pace. The gap between Mark Hutchinson and Ionut Valenu. Sorry if I mispronounce some names. I'm really sorry. The gap between those guys is only half a tenth. So yeah, close gaps. Good to see these guys are competitive, have similar pace. It's good to see for the race. Now, let's see if anyone is improving his time. Cameron Roger is going quicker at the moment. With a reasonably good first sector time. See what he can do in the second sector. Looks good throwing going through the second sector so far. Ooh, there's somebody off there, and that causes Cameron Roger to spin. It was Christopher Kopp who was off, and I think Cameron got a little bit scared of that. That's unfortunate for him, because he was on a good lap time so far, at least in the first sector. At the moment, not a lot of guys improving their times. Christopher Kopp almost spinning it on the exit of turn 1 and immediately abandons his lap there. 3.5 minutes remaining in this session, so that's about 1, maybe 2 if you push really hard on your outlap. Yeah, so gonna be close between between the 6th and 7th spot. As I mentioned, that gap between Mark and Ionet is very, very close, and James Early isn't that far off as well. Now Christopher Raby going quicker in the 2nd sector so far, so he's improving on his time at the moment. Ionet is also improving on his time, and Fabian as well. So Fabian might be able to move up to the 3rd spot even, or maybe if he's got a really good lap, to the 2nd or maybe even 1st. But let's focus on Christopher. Christopher Raby abandoned his lap. No, he didn't. He finished it, but it wasn't quicker. Yes, Unit is doing a good lap so far. 7/10 down on his own time so far. So if he's continuing like this, he's going to move up a couple of spots, maybe even to the P3 if he continues like this. Let's see what he can do. 1:37.3, and that is indeed P3 for Unit. Just less than 2 minutes remaining in the session. Fabian Ruth is also improving his time, and he's now in P3. So Ionet, who did a great job in getting to the P3, just got stolen from it immediately after by Fabian Ruth. Great driving from him so far. The gap between them only 0.2 of a second. Too bad for Unit. Good stuff for Fabian, of course. Now, is there going to be anyone who is still contesting for a top spot? I don't think so. Cameron Roger is not improving on his time. He's at least not in the 1st sector. Maybe in the 2nd sector he can do a bit more. 1st sector was about the same as his previous fastest lap. Now Fabian Ruth immediately goes for another lap, by the way. So maybe he'll even be able to get up to P2. Cameron Roger now is improving, by the way. 2/10 down, almost 3/10 on his own time. Christopher Kopp also still on a lap and improving. Half a minute remaining in the session. Cameron Roger does not improve. Cameron Roger stays in P5 at the moment. But behind him there are still guys that can push him further down. Christopher Kopp, for example, who is coming to the line now. Didn't have the best 2nd sector, but is still... No, the 2nd and last sector was not very good. So no improvement for Christopher Kopp. 7th place for him. The flag has fallen now. Mark Hutchinson still on a lap. Will he be able to improve? Coming to the line now, and he does improve indeed. He moves up to 6th place and pushes Christopher Kopp and Evan Rice down by a spot. Now Cameron Roger is also still on the lap. He's going for another lap. I don't think his super soft tyres will be happy about that. Gerlof de Vries in the meanwhile has dropped a spot, and Fabian did indeed improve to his 2nd spot. Christopher Raby now still on the lap as well, just showing his pace. But Gerlof de Vries is the one to watch now. Will he be able to improve to get that 2nd spot back from Fabian? Coming to the 2nd. Yep, 2nd sector marker. He's a 10th quicker than his own time at the moment, and that will mean that it is going to be very close. This last sector is going to be crucial for him, and he seems to have a good exit out of the last turn. Now coming to the finish line, will he be able to? Yes, he is. He's in 2nd spot. So Christopher Raby now, he's also still on the lap, but there's no one that's going to push him off that first place. Great qualification here. Christopher Raby takes 2 seconds off his own time as well. Great driving from Christopher Raby. He shows his pace and yeah, he's 8/10 quicker than the second guy, Gerlof de Vries here. So a very dominant performance so far for Christopher Raby. So yeah, great stuff. I'll just sum up the grid for you then. Christopher Raby is in first position. Then after him it is Gerlof de Vries in second. In third we have Fabian Ruth. In fourth we have Cameron Roger. In fifth we have Ionut Valenu, who was in third for a moment but got pushed down. Too bad for him. In sixth we've got Mark Hutchinson. Great stuff for him. In seventh we've got Evan Rice. In eighth we've got our lovely president Christopher Kopp. In ninth we've got James Early. In 10th we've got Tank Applegate. In 11th we've got Rihan Atif. In 12th Matthew Tewson. In 13th Dominic Foster. In 14th David Rodriguez. And in 15th Ken Hunter. So we are moving to warm up now. It's just a 10-minute session. Don't know if they are going to use all the 10 minutes. Maybe they'll shorten that just by a little bit.
I feel the sunrise, it burns in my eyes. This is my own life, I gotta get mine. My heroes don't fly, they crawl up inside, take over your mind, just like a drive-by.
Okay, guys, welcome back. Just had a bit a little commercial break. Of course, one of our big sponsors, Thrustmaster and ISI, of course, for giving us such a great sim. rFactor 2 is the sim we are using in Formula SimRacing, and it is the most realistic commercial racing simulation software at the moment. And that's why we use it at Formula SimRacing. So we are about to move to the to the race. Will be a formation lap before that, and then starting right away after that. We can see in warm-up Christopher Rabius doing quite some pace, a second faster than what Tank Applegate is doing. Of course, we don't know what fuel loads these guys are using and which tires, those vary as well. In AMA you don't have set tires, but I believe you do have to at least use 2 different compounds. You can use all compounds you want. Soft, medium, hard, super soft, all you want, but you have to use at least 2 different tires. All right, you guys are now getting onto the grid. Get into your grid slots, and yeah, I am really interested to see what is going to happen here at Bahrain. The second race of the season, of course, and it's going to be an exciting one. I believe everyone is now in their grid slots, and that means the formation lap is about to begin. Well, if you're thinking now, darn, I would have wanted to be on that grid as well at the moment. Well, too bad you can't make it now anymore, but for the next race, Barcelona. It's already next week, so maybe you want to be looking for the race after that. But if you are interested in joining this league, this AMA series is of course the way to go. If you are interested in learning how to do sim racing, how to be competitive in sim racing. Oh dear. Oh dear. Something has happened. I see Mark Hutchinson without the rear wing, and Evan Rice stopped on track, and yeah, that's not good, guys. Crashing in the formation lap is never good. It's really unfortunate to see that gonna be a pit lane start for him. I would say Mark, just escape and get to the pit and just start from pit lane. That's the only thing that's going to happen, I think. Or our race director will restart the formation lap, but I don't think that's happening. No, nothing about that in the chat. But as I was saying, if you want to join AMA, if you want to join this league, go to Formula simracing.net. I believe it's formula/simracing.net. You can sign up there, watch on the forums, say hi to everyone on the forums. You can do that, and yeah, get started in the AMA series, and maybe you'll be picked up by a team if you're quick enough, if you're consistent enough, and maybe you'll drive in pro by the end of next year. You never know. But well, you guys are now coming to the grid. Yeah, Mark is now in the pits, I believe. Yes, together with Evan Rice. I would think they start from the pit lane then. Christopher Raby doing some burnouts, getting those tires and brakes up to temperature, of course, because yeah, that's really important. If you go cold tires and cold brakes into the first turn, yeah, it's bound to go wrong. And let's see, is everyone in their grid slot? Yes, I think so. Yeah, of course, Evan Rice and Mark are missing, but we are going now 3, 4, 5 lights, and we are racing here in Bahrain. Second round of AMA. Christopher Raby has a really good start, and right behind that, Gerlof de Vries is still in second. Cameron Roger moved up to third already. Great start from him. Fabian Ruth not so great, down to fourth position, and Christopher Kopp is right behind him. Christopher Kopp with a really good start and some carnage in the back as Tank Applegate spins. Mark Hutchinson and Evan Rice still waiting in the pits to go. Let's see. Oh, it's carnage now. Oh dear. Some cars spun around and it's not looking very good, but no real damage, I believe. Just some flat spots on tires and maybe a missing front wing here and there. I believe nobody has a missing front wing. Christopher Raby already with quite a big of a grab, 1.7 seconds already, so he's moving away from the pack really quick. Cameron Roger is now battling with Unit Valenu. Valenu had a good start as well. He was down in 6th place and now moved up to the inside here of Cameron Roger. Cameron Roger has lost that spot. Unit Valenu now up to the podium position, P3. Further down the back, Christopher Kopp, who had a good start, but then in the first couple of corners had some trouble. He's now up to 8th, back to the spot where he started, and now trying to gain some spots again. Some guys locking up there. And we see Dominic Foster going quite wide over the curb there at the last turn. Good. After one lap, Christopher Raby has already gotten a lead of 2.5 seconds, and we see a position change of Cameron Roger still battling with Ionat Valenu. Ooh, and they go wide a little bit. Ooh, Ionat almost spins it over the curb there. But this battle is not over yet. I don't think Ionat is going to give up. so easily on Cameron. Cameron doing a great job on holding up to the third position at the moment and fighting back for it. But you can definitely see Ionut is quicker. Ionut, of course, is also on the faster tire, I believe. Yes, he is. Ionut is on the soft tire and Cameron is on the hard tire. So it is. Yeah, it's to be. Yeah, he's of course he's quicker than him. So Ionut really close to the back of Cameron here, and I think he's getting some dirty air, and they make contact. They make contact as Ionut didn't expect him to brake so early, and he spins and almost touches James early there, but really unfortunate for him there. He was doing so good in the start phase and in qualifying as well, and now lost it in the second lap of the race. It's going to be yeah, really difficult for him. Now down to third position, or Cameron down to 8th, I believe. I mean. So Christopher Raby still flying off this pack. Carlos de Vries also kind of sticking with him, but I think there's still some really close battling between James Early and Christopher Cobb. Christopher Cobb on the outside here, coming through the second sector. Christopher Cobb gotten past pretty easily. Let's see, Christopher Cobb already up to 4th now. Great stuff from him. Don't get onto the curb that much though. Oh, in the back we see Cameron Roger again going wide there. I think he's a little bit frustrated with that spin. James Early and Rihan Atif still really close to each other. Rihan maybe trying to get a move on James in the upcoming sector. Rihan on the super soft tire and James on the medium tire, so you would expect Rihan to be quite a bit quicker than James. Here we go, into the slipstream he goes, and it is going to be an easy pass, is it? He doesn't really have the top speed though. Yeah, nope, doesn't have the top speed, but maybe he can outbrake him. Really good braking there, and that's a great move from Rihan Atif. Great move, outbraking James Early there in turn 1. Great stuff. Cameron Roger now into the pits, by the way, doing his tire change already, and he was on that hard tire, so that's been cost him really a lot. Maybe I think he had, yeah, probably had massive flat spots. And that's not good for your tires and for your race, of course. Rihan Atif already a second of James Early after just a sector. You see that super soft tire has so much more grip, of course, than the medium tire, but that is to be expected. Evan Rice battling with Ken Hunter, I believe, and oh, it's more than battling, they spun. Evan Rice and Ken Hunter had a touch, and let's see if I can find out what happened between those guys. Oh, coming into in turn 9-10, braking zone when you turn in as well, and Evan just didn't expect Ken Hunter to brake so early and ran into the back of him. No obvious damage, I believe, just some tires probably not in the best state anymore. James Early now picking up the pace again a bit, and I think Rehan Atif's super soft tires are now wearing off by quite a bit, and that is allowing James Early to move in closer again. James Early of course on those medium tires and locking up there from Rehan, and that is not good for your tires, especially not on Bahrain. Ooh, and Rehan goes wide. Rehan goes wide, and that allows James Early to get past quite easily here in the fast right, left, and now right. And he doesn't have the best exit though onto the straight, and that allows Rehan to get into that slipstream again and maybe make a move on him in the last turn. No, he doesn't go for it. Maybe he's just waiting for that first turn as he did just a couple of laps ago. Maybe he can do that again. And yes, he does so indeed. He outbrakes him again. Great stuff from Rehan Atif, but he doesn't have the best exit, and James Early is alongside, and no, he just backs out of it for now. Again, a great move from Rehan Atif, outbraking James Early into turn 1. But will he be able to keep in front, to stay in front now? Because you can almost visually see him having struggles with his super soft tire wearing off quite quickly. Blocking up there a bit again into the 9-10 section. And in the meanwhile, Christopher Raby is still moving out by almost a second lap. Great driving from Christopher Raby, and is now 9 seconds in front of Gerlof de Vries. Very dominant performance of Christopher Raby as well. So James Early now closing in again, and in the back the gap between David Rodriguez and Tank Applegate is getting smaller. Tank Applegate closing in inch by inch closer to David Rodriguez, so maybe we'll see a battle forming up there in a lap or two. Christopher Kopp still doing a solid performance in driving in P4. He's also on that medium tire, so he'll be able to do really a lot more laps than Rehan Atif is doing. Rehan, of course, on those super soft tires, and I think he will be coming in for a pit stop not too far from now. James Early though not closing in again. So good job from Rehan to keep him behind at the moment. Evan Rice now into the pits, going onto the super soft tires and almost spins it into the pits when exiting his pit box. He just saved it though, and I don't think his tires are going to like that, and he stops at the end of the pit exit and he retires. So our first retirement of the day, Evan Rice retired in the race. Alright, Rehan Atif still driving. Still in front of James Early. In the meantime, David Rodriguez and Tank Applegate are getting closer and closer to each other, and it's not going to take a lot of laps longer for this battle to unfold. Let's see if Tank Applegate is going to be able to get past David Rodriguez. David Rodriguez locking up quite a bit, going into the 9th corner. Of course, the very difficult corner where you have to brake and steer in at the same time. So your left tire is really easy to lock up. And that's really not what you want for your tire, where going to drop off really quickly then. So here we go, Tank Applegate going to the inside, braking really late. And will he be able to make the end of the corner? No, he runs wide, and that allows David to cut back again. And Tank spins it on the exit of turn 2, and that is really unfortunate into the barrier there a bit, and he is losing a lot of spots there. Really unfortunate for Tank Applegate, as he did a great initial move up the inside, just braked a little bit too late and didn't have enough he had too much speed going into the turn, and then on the exit lost it. Unfortunate for Tank Applegate. I think David Rodriguez is going to be happy to have that ballast on his back, that pressure off now again, and of course, as a racing driver you have to be able to cope with that pressure, and that's also where this league is for. In the meantime, Christopher Raby is into the pits. He is going to the soft tire, I believe. Yes, he's going to the soft tire. He started on the soft tire and is on the soft tire again, so he's going to have to do another stop as well. Ken Hunter also in the pits, and Gerlof de Vries now into the lead. Christopher Raby will be catching up to him pretty fast, however. That's not going to take long. 7 seconds between them now. But of course, Gerlof on the medium tires, so he is going to be able to do another 4 or 5 laps maybe. But his pace is going to be not as quick as Christopher Raby's pace is going to be in the coming laps. Ken Hunter also pitted. He is in 14th position at the moment, so he's right in front of David Rodriguez, who's about to lap him, I believe. Yes, that is correct. So James Early and Rehan Atif now getting into the battle again. James Early picking up the pace, and Matthew Tucson got past Tank Applegate, who is in the pit. Tank Applegate, after his spin, is now into the pits, getting some new tires. But let's see what James Early can do. James Early right onto the back of Rehan Atif, as we have seen for a couple of times now in this race. I'm quite surprised though that David Rodriguez is holding on to, Rehan Atif is holding on to his super soft tires for so long. And as I say that, he goes into the pits. Does he brake in time for the pit limiter though? I don't know. But that allows David or Rehan Atif No, James Early, sorry. James Early to get into that 5th position. He is, of course, on the medium tire, so he will be able to do a couple of laps. Dominic Foster, in the meanwhile, is making a move on Mark Hutchinson, and he's gotten past so far, but Mark Hutchinson is not giving up easily, and he has a better exit. They make a little bit of contact. He just saves it, doesn't spin, but really close battling there between Mark Hutchinson and Dominic Foster. In the meantime, the gap between Gerlof de Vries and Christopher Raby is closing quite rapidly. Christopher Raby, let's see, he's now on his first fast lap on those tires, of course. So let's see what he can do. He does a 1:37.9 on those fresh soft tires, and Gerlof de Vries did a 1:39.4 on his last lap on those medium tires, so that's a second a lap faster, more than a second a lap faster. So that gap is going to close rapid. He's going to be at the back of him in about 2 to 3 laps. So yeah, Gerlof hasn't pitted by that time. He's going to have to defend from him rather hard. Rehan Atif went to the medium tires, by the way. Now down to 9th position, just behind Dominic Foster. Oh god, something happened. Rehan Atif has no front wing. Oh dear, something bad happened. Let's see what happened. Rehan Atif braking for turn 9, and he just doesn't brake in time. He brakes way too late and just runs into the back of Dominic Foster. And that costs him his rear wing, or front wing I should say. And he is really frustrated about that, you can see that. That is really unfortunate for Rehan Atif, who was doing such a great job in holding on to that 5th position just a couple of laps ago. And now he has to pit again when he just got out of the pits a lap ago. Really unfortunate for him, going wide there. Yeah, of course, without a front wing it's not easy. And he's going to lose out a lot now. Dominic Foster into the pits as well. Maybe he has some suspension damage of that hard hit from Rehan, but I don't know. Suspension damage is not fixable in the pits, and I think he just went for some fresh tires. In the meanwhile, yeah, Matthew Tewson moving up some spots, of course, because Rehan is pitting. Now coming out of the pits again, down to P13. The only guy behind him is Ken Hunter, and Ken Hunter is a far bit behind. But now the battle for first is going to heat up in the coming lap. Christopher Raby only a second behind Gerlof de Vries now. Gerlof de Vries still going strong on those medium tires, 13 laps in. He's doing a good job in being consistent on those tires. Great job from him. But Christopher Raby is going to be closing in really rapidly, and is going to put pressure on him. Christopher Kopp now into the pits. He was on the medium tires and now getting out on the medium tires as well. Was he on the medium tires, or did I just say that wrong? No, I think he was on the medium tires. So going onto the medium tires again. Yeah, so I don't know how many laps he will be able to do on those. We are just approaching the halfway mark. 14 and a half laps of 29. So that's getting closer and closer. But now the battle between Christopher Raby and Gerlof de Vries heating up a lot. Christopher Raby really close to the back of Gerlof de Vries now. Coming through the last sector, the last two turns. Gerlof de Vries has a really good exit though. And you see he has quite some top speed as well. So it is not going to be easy for Christopher Raby to get past. But now get into that slipstream. And ooh, that's a good slipstream for Christopher Raby. Gerlof de Vries going defensive, but I don't think it's going to help. Gerlof de Vries braking a little bit later, but it is not enough. Christopher Raby gets into P1 again after having lost it a couple of laps ago because of his pit stop, of course. Now back into the lead, and I think it's going to be one big stretch into the lead for him now. No pit, or at least no downfalls to second position, because Gerlof de Vries still has to do his pit stop. So he's going to drop back about 20-25 seconds as well. So he's going to be about the place of James Early. Mark Hutchinson now into the pits. Was on the soft tires, and now onto the soft tires again. Or is he not? No, he's on the mediums. No, he's on the soft. Sorry, he's on the soft tires again. So great for Mark Hutchinson. Dropped down 2 spots, back to ninth position. In the meanwhile, Christopher Kopp is getting really close to the back of Unit Valenu. Christopher Kopp on the medium tires unit as well. The tires of Christopher Kopp are a bit newer, I believe. Yes, I think so, but I'm not entirely sure. Christopher Kopp is faster though, at least in the last sector he was. Here we go, Christopher Kopp has a lot more top speed than Unit Valenu, but it is not enough to get beside him. He is now really at the back of him though, getting through the 2-3 section, turn 2-3 section, coming to the 4th turn. Somebody hit that brake marker there, the 150 meter bar, doesn't really matter. Christopher Kopp has a little bit of a difficult exit here at the exit of turn 10, so that is going to be some time lost here on the straight. Ooh, it goes very deep onto that curb, and that is not good for your second sector time. So he's dropping off quite a bit now, and Gerlof de Vries is into the pits. Gerlof de Vries now going onto the soft tires. He is just coming out of the pits in front of James Early, I think. It's gonna be... no, not really close. James Early just crossed the finish line, and Gerlof de Vries now getting through turn 2 and 3. So still about 5 seconds, 6 seconds between those guys. And Gerlof de Vries is going to be faster than James Early, of course, because he is on that fresh soft tire. 24 seconds between Gerlof de Vries and Christopher Raby now. Christopher Kopp now getting a little bit closer again, but it is talking about marginal gap. But you see Chris is pushing rather hard and locking up some spots on the track. That's not good for your tires, especially not those mediums. You want to last those medium tires for quite a few laps. At least that's what I would do. Maybe the guys think different about that. But Christopher Kopp not able to get close to Ayhanat Valenu at the moment. The gaps between the guys are getting bigger and bigger now. You see the field quite spread out after 17 laps. 4 drivers a lap down, and it's not going to take long before Mark Hutchinson is also going to be set on a lap by Christopher Raby. Christopher Raby doing still with a great pace, 1:38 dead. But let's see what Gerlof de Vries can do now, because he is on that soft tire now as well, and yeah, that should allow him to get some quick times in as well. Fabian Ruth just exiting the pits now. He is onto the soft tire, and he is just behind a lapped car. That is Matthew, I believe, or Rehan. No, that is Matthew. No, it's Ken Hunter. Sorry, Ken Hunter. Doesn't really matter. Now only. Oh, James Early is wide there going through the last turn. I think he just outbraked. Yeah, he just braked a little bit too late. Locked up, got into the curb, and the curbs are quite dangerous here in Bahrain. When you get on them, you often lose a lot of time. And yeah, that's caused him to drop off a little bit further to the back of Gerlof de Vries. But Gerlof de Vries is of course now flying. His last lap was his fastest lap so far. Not as fast as Christopher Raby is doing, however. In the back, though, Cameron Roger is getting a bit closer to the back of Mark Hutchinson. Or, yeah, not really actually. Cameron Roger is only in the first sector, already a second or half a second slower than Mark Hutchinson. Mark Hutchinson on the soft tire, Cameron Roger on the hard tire. So. Yeah, I don't think that's going to close. That gap is going to close. What happened to Christopher Raby though? He had a bad lap. He had a really bad lap. And the gap between him and Gerlof de Vries has shrunk down to 7.6 seconds. So, did Christopher Raby pit? Did I totally miss that? Or did he just make a massive mistake? I don't know. I have no idea what he did. Or did he just? Yeah, he did. He pitted. Sorry. He went into the pits and back on the soft tires as well. That's going to be a last sprint to the end. Just 10 laps remaining now. Christopher Raby, yeah, doing a great performance here. Solid performance from him. Leading the race by 9 seconds, and that gap is going to grow only bigger because he's on the fresh soft tire. Unit Valenu is closing into James Early a bit. Unit Valenu's last lap time was 1:39.4, and as I say that, James Early goes into the pits and he gives away that third spot to Unit Valenu. So this might be a podium spot for Unit Valenu. I don't know, however, if he still has to do a pit stop. I don't know when he did his last pit stop. Let's see if I can see that. Unit Valenu last pitted in lap 13. So he's 8 laps on these medium tires now. So that is going to be, I don't know. It is possible to do 19 laps or 16 laps on medium tires, I think. Should be doable, but it's gonna be tricky at the end for him then if he's going to try it, or he's going to try a pit stop again as well. Could be as well. James Early now went on to the super soft. He is going to try and manage 9 laps of these super softs and get back to the third position he was in just a minute ago. He is only 3 seconds separated to the back of Christopher Kopp. Christopher Kopp on the medium tire, and that tire is also already 8 laps old, I believe. So I think that's going to be an easy peasy pass for James Early. But let's not be too positive about or too soon about that. He still has to get past. David Rodriguez now into the pit as well. He was on the medium tire and is going to the soft or the super soft. That is the soft tire. So he's going to try and do the last couple of laps on the soft tires and maybe gain some spots again. But it's going to be tricky, I think, because only 8 laps remaining, and I don't think you will be able to easily gain those spots back, but maybe he will be able to. It would be a great stuff for him though, if he is able to do that. James Early didn't have the best first tractor time at 32.1. maybe had some traffic in front of him. But no, second sector time isn't as well. It's a 43.0, 43 dead. And that is slower than what Christopher Kopp is doing on the medium tire. So James Early's got to step up his game a bit if he wants to get closer to Christopher Kopp. Christopher Kopp just did a 1:39.4 and James Early 1:39.7. So yeah, James not able to get closer than he was lap go. However, as I say that, he goes really quick through the this lap. Already 1.2 seconds quicker than his fastest lap. So as I said last lap, you have to step up your game, James. And he immediately responds and he does a 1:38.5, and that is more than a second quicker than what Christopher Kopp was doing a lap ago. So this is going to be interesting at the end of this race. Going to be an interesting end. Of course, battle for fourth position. I don't think they will be able to catch up to some podium spots. I think those will be quite solid. Maybe knocking this up for commentator curse. Never know what happens. Anything can still happen in those last 6 laps remaining. Christopher Kopp Christopher Raby sets the fastest lap of the race at the moment, a 1:36.8. Great time from him as the fuel is getting lower and the tires are getting less stressed because of those heavier fuel cars, and the track is getting more grippy. The times increase, of course. James Early closing in more and more to the back of Christopher Kopp. You see though, the top speed of James Early isn't as good as the top speed of Christopher Kopp. Christopher Kopp's top speed is at 301 kilometers an hour, and James Early has 299, just 2 kilometers per hour between those. But that's just the difference between an easy pass and a hard pass. But as I say that, Christopher Kopp goes really a lot onto the curbs and he loses out a lot of time and brakes really early, and that just went well with James Early. However, the battle is not over. Christopher Kopp going on the inside here, coming into turn 9 and turn 10 now. And Christopher Kopp is not giving up on that spot easily. He's keeping on to that 4th spot at the moment. James Early, that was really close though. James Early now braking and trying to go around the outside and making a little bit of contact maybe. And James Early onto the desert sandish stuff, I should say. It's not really sand. But he lost out a little bit. Now has got to try and get back to the back of Christopher Kopp again. Christopher Kopp is doing quite a bit of laps on these medium tires, and I don't think he's going to pit now anymore. That would be a stupid move, stupid strategy call, if you ask me at least. But you can see Christopher Kopp is struggling. You could see that really obviously in those last couple of turns, where it all went wrong almost. He's gaining again. Maybe it's gonna be the next lap, or maybe even this lap, where we can get a pass on him and get onto that fourth position. James really trying to get into that slipstream of Christopher Kopp. And you see him gaining a lot of speed there. Coming in through this long left-hander, and after that a long right-hander, which is really hard on your tires. Oh, you see some tires marked spots coming from Chris Kopp's car. And now James Early really into the slipstream now. Will he be able to do it now already? Christopher Kopp going defensive into the last turn here. Has a little bit more top speed. James Early brakes really late though. Oh, on the outside, on the curb a bit, and that lost him some time. Now he's going to try and get back into the slipstream, but the difference in speed is quite big. However, that slipstream is quite strong. You can see that very obviously. Christopher Kopp going defensive. But it's not enough for James Early to outbrake him. Here we go again. James Early with a lot more exit speed. Christopher Kopp is struggling to keep him behind, but he's doing a good job in doing so. Oh, you see that tire marks going onto the road, and James Early now going to get it. Not such a good exit, but braking probably really late again. Christopher Kopp locking up his left front. Only 2 laps remaining in this second round of the AMA Championship. James Early doesn't have the best exit after that whole second to the last turn. He braked really late there and almost collected Chris Kopp into the back of him. Now into the slipstream again. Maybe he will be able to do such a late braking move again here, but it's going to be hard on the outside though in turn 1. You really want to be on the inside line if you want to get a good pass through turn 1. You can see he is really a lot faster than Chris Kopp at the moment. It's not easy though to get past our president. He's a stubborn guy. But now along the outside, and it seems to be a great move from James Early on the outside of turn 4 around Christopher Kopp. Great job from James Early, and now up to P4. Great drive from him, and from now on it will be just steaming away from the front end of Christopher Kopp. Christopher Kopp has a lot of struggles with his tires at the moment. You can clearly see that. David Rodriguez is getting into the pits without a front wing at the moment. I don't know what's that all about, but we are on the last lap of the race at the moment. the last lap, and Christopher Raby is just entering the last, the second sector. Yes, Christopher Raby now entering the final sector of the race, and it has been a solid drive from Christopher Raby again, winning. Oh, not winning it just yet, not winning just yet. He has to make it through one corner still and one straight, and of course he does that very cleanly. Here we go, over the finish line. Christopher Raby wins the second round of the Thrustmaster AMA Championship, and he is happy about that. Great drive and solid drive from Christopher Raby again, winning for the second time in a row here at Bahrain. Gerlof de Vries now coming through the last turn. From him as well, a great drive, finishing in second again. I believe he did that in Melbourne as well. Don't quote me on that though. Getting that second spot just a bit further back. It's Ionut Valenu. You just gotta wait for him to finish. Ken Hunter finished in 13th place and Rehan Atif in 9th place. Rehan didn't have the best of races, of course, had some misfortune in the start of the race when he spun in the first couple of laps. Matthew Hewson in 10th place. David Rodriguez in 11th. Ionut Valenu just finished in 3rd. And we're now waiting for James Early to come over that finish line. Great drive from him as well. Finishing in 4th position, just in front of Christopher Kopp, who just didn't have enough tires left to keep James behind. Mark Hutchinson ending in 6th place. Fabian Ruth in 7th, just coming through the start finish line now. And Cameron Roger, the last guy to finish, just coming onto the straights. He didn't have the best race as well. Also had some struggles in the first couple of laps. But that's it. Christopher Raby won. Gerlof de Vries second and Ionut Valenu third. Great race from all of these guys. And I think with only 2 DNFs we should be very happy, and solid performance from all of these guys. Well, I think that's going to be it for the AMA coverage of today. In just about 2 hours time, I believe. It's now 5 o'clock. Yes, at least my time. It's 4 o'clock GMT or 3 o'clock GMT. At least at 17 GMT. You can calculate yourself which time it is for you. 17:00 GMT. Ace is going to start. Get ready for that, because that is, of course, the second highest category in the FSR League, and it's going to be an interesting race as well. 100% dynamic weather, although I don't think it's going to rain here in Bahrain. But that's going to be an interesting race. Make sure you tune in. If you're interested in driving here for FSR, make sure you go to our forums and our site, formula-simracing.net, and get signed up there. And I hope to see you next week for the third round of the AMA series at Barcelona. See you.